Perfect. All right, good morning.
Good morning.
Happy New Year, right? We don't say not Happy New Year, right, Gabor? How do we say Happy New Year in Hungarian? That, and then how do we say Happy Do Year in Hungarian?
It's a little more complicated.
Is it?
It's not so bad.
Yeah.
Get back to us on that one, all right? He's going to go to Google Translate and figure out how to do the Hungarian. I know. I got your deal down. Ron Chorney.
Are you the entertainment in the ballroom at 7 o'clock?
That's right. 7 o'clock, come back here. The entertainment in the ballroom. You never know. This place is great because A, it's a free room. That's the four-letter F word we like around here. Is that free room? So we can't complain. That's why when we get coffee that shows up a little bit late, it's like, hey, you know what? How much can we really complain when it's free, right? It's what are we gonna do? I'm not coming back. Okay, great. I'm glad you won't, right? Okay, so you kind of lose your leverage when you're using free rooms. So, but this has been a great room for us. This is the first time we've started at 9:30. It was funny because our last office meeting, I was sitting around and said, we start at 10 and that's fine, but by the time we get out of here, it's like 11:20, 11:30. And I said, boy, that's kind of taking up the whole morning. Why don't we start early? And I went back and remembered that before, when we first started using this room, there was a B&I group that met ahead of us on Tuesdays. So that's why we had to wait for them to clear out. So that's why we had to wait till 10. But they haven't been here for like 3 years. Like, hello. It's kind of like, the story about the ham, right? Mom, why do we always cut off both ends of the ham before we put it in the oven, I don't know. Ask Grandma. Grandma, why do we? I don't know. My mother always did that. And they finally get to the great grandma and say, well, why? Well, it's because I never had a pan that fit. You know what I mean? So they thought it was part of the ritual to do it. So anyway, I'm glad we're starting at 9:30. We'll get out of here earlier, and so you guys can get out and attack the day and get moving on. I guarantee we'll probably have about at least a half a dozen, if not a dozen, people roll in around 10, thinking they're right on time, who didn't read the emails effectively and get going. Sherry. I like your haircut. It looks good. All right, very nice. Okay, is that what it was? Awesome, good for you. Good deal. Looks good. I thought you cut it in kind of sitting Shiva for the Ravens not making the playoffs. No? All right, good deal. She's a big Baltimore Ravens fan. So anyway, Happy New Year. It's great to see everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope your holiday was great, whether it was lighting candles or lighting Christmas trees or whatever you did to celebrate. So hope it's all good. We'll go around real quick and grab our vendors. And then we'll come back, and Brian Brown, one of our vendors who's always here, is going to lead us in a little bit of discussion. Then I'm going to come back and have some thoughts on Happy New Year, as well as making sure you guys are all aware of our calendar, because it's chock full, all right, of loads of stuff, and know where you can find those things, as well as everything that's going on, even starting this evening. There's a lot of stuff happening right away, so we're hitting the ground running. Running, I should say. I live in Tennessee now, so I say running a little bit. There's no G's on the end of your INGs up there. So we'll come back to David. So Jerry, how you doing, brother?
I'm warm.
I know you always are. All right.
It's an Italian thing.
It is an Italian thing.
We have
Okay.
a lot of olive oil running through our veins.
You see, there you go.
That's our temperature.
All right.
Anyone who's of Italian ancestry, Tom,
Yeah.
knows what I'm talking about.
I see.
And at least in the dialect of what I grew up in, on my mother's side of the family, which came from Abruzia, we would say Buona Capitano.
Exactly.
Okay. You're familiar with that on
Right.
the voice side, right?
No. Okay.
In any event, that means happy.
Happy New Year. Okay, very good. Awesome. How do you say Happy New Year? So when we do this, how do you say Happy New Year in Italian?
Happy New Year?
Yeah.
You have to ask Tom.
See, you guys don't. You say you speak the language, and you have like 6 phrases that you know. All right, don't give me this garbage that I speak Hungarian. All right, I ask you to say something different than Merry Christmas or Happy New Year. Like, I don't know. All right, here we go.
I'm Jerry Papa. I'm the broker-owner of Realty Realty Property Management. We're a professional lease and property management firm based in your offices in West Chase. We provide lease and property management services throughout Tampa Bay, and have been doing that. This will be our 10th year, so it'll be our anniversary year. And before I go further, I want to introduce Jessica Jimenez, who's with us today.
Hey, Jessica.
She's one of our many property managers. Jessica is a licensed realtor, but she specializes in lease and property management services and works with many future home agents and with agents from a variety of different firms. We use a 21st century software cloud where everything is stored, where everything is accessible, password protected portal access. We operate a security escrow account as we need to, so we keep all those funds secure with regards to security. And we also use pretty much everything systemically that we possibly can, including, but we also offer it in paper, our proprietary owner's and resident manual, which is a very important component of our success in our business. Many tenants have never seen a resident manual. Our resident manual was created several years ago, and it's always a live, breathing, changing document. It's about 40 pages long. The property manager reviews that with the approved tenants.
I had a lot of tenants that couldn't read, but go ahead.
Well, that's why we have people like Jessica who actually speaks 2 languages.
Oh, nice.
So we go through that page by page, make sure that they understand the components of what it takes to live in a property that we manage. And at the end of that book, they have to sign. Every stakeholder who's on the lease has to sign for the book. They're given a hard copy of the book. It's uploaded into the cloud. It answers almost every basic and in some cases detailed questions about what do I do if such and such happens. And while you may not think that's a very important component, when you're dealing with tenants, whether it be a first-time tenant or a tenant who's been, renting properties for ages, it's important that they understand this is the cornerstone of the relationship, and if they start to deviate from that, we're going to start to have some issues. And that doesn't mean that the property manager isn't in connection with that tenant and that owner all the time. It's just that this is a very thorough understanding of our relationship and how important we take the management position that we make in this job of doing lease and property management. The final thing I want to say is we've recently become friends, and probably a little more than friends, with a very quality builder in Tampa Bay. He happens to live in Water Chase, and he builds almost exclusively investment properties for investors. And currently, although this is not his only place, currently he's doing a lot of construction in a place called Tampa Heights. If you haven't been to Tampa Heights lately, you need to take a drive through it, and you would be amazed at the renaissance that's going on in Tampa Heights. Tampa Heights is eventually, slowly but surely, becoming the new South Tampa, etc., with all the renovation plus the new construction that's going on. And let me give you an example. He's building, for example, he's building stacked as well as side-by-side quality duplexes that are all green, that have quality, unbelievable quality. And the first set of duplexes that we took on, that Jessica has just taken on, he sold that duplex for $375. The appraisal came in at $480. That's an instant equity of $105,000. Each one of those properties is going to rent for $1,850 a month. Right down the street, there's a stacked duplex that he just built that from the upper level, you're looking at downtown Tampa. He sold that to a Delta Airlines captain. They are so happy with the construction, we'll be taking over that for property management as well. They ordered 10 more. So this business of finding the right people who have the right niche, not only to make your customers money through equity, but through the appreciation and the cash flow from holding onto the property, is a great thing. So anybody wants know anything more about that, please see me. But this guy is quite a interesting gentleman and is a very quality builder. Again, my name is Jerry Papa, Golfy Realty Property Management, and if we can help you in any way, by the way, we do pay referral fees, and we write checks to Future Home Realty on a regular basis that Maureen disperses to the applicable referral source.
And he protects your client, right? So you give him the client to manage the property. When they come back and they want to sell 2 years later, he comes back to you. That's the most important thing. Yeah. Oh yeah, well, David, we're coming back. No, we're coming back to David. David always has some legal brief to give us, so. That's right. Okay. What's up, man?
Happy New Year, Bob.
Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, everyone. Happy New Year. Good morning. I'm Kevin Overstreet. I think I know everyone in the room, almost. I'm the owner of Insured Title Agency, which is right next door to your main office here in West Chase, and I'm also the director of Synergy Title, a new company in Madera Beach. And thank you, first of all, for the amazing year. This was actually our best year with FHR, which is saying something because we've had a few good years with you. Thank you to everyone who sent business to us. I do want to pass these around. I think I have enough.
Perfect.
So this is our upcoming seminar on next Thursday, the 12th. And it's going to be huge. I just checked the registration numbers. We have 130 registrations already. The room only holds 150. And we're kicking off this is our 16th one. So obviously this is working out for us. I'm going to be sharing a few things about where this is going, the end game is to create referrals and transactions for all of the Baba agents for free from all around the country. So come and learn how I'm going to do that. We're also going to have a top producer panel, which will be great. It's always a big hit. We've got 3 people on the panel that are averaging about 30 million a year each between the 3 of them. So
Nice.
There's a lot to learn from them. And then we're also launching a brand new, built from the ground up, free coaching program that we're going to allow only 20 agents into for the first 90 days. It's not an annual coaching or planning, it's a 90-day, 4 times a year thing. So please come and check it out. And then another thing is, I just latched onto this on Friday, so I don't know much about it yet, but on, save the date, Tuesday, January 31st, from 9 to noon at the Rusty Pelican, there's a guy who is a national real estate coach named Michael Hellickson, who I don't know. I've heard great things about him, but I haven't actually met him yet. But we're going to be co-sponsoring the event, and it's a free, come and spend 3 hours learning how to do the perfect listing presentation, how to find listings, and everything that goes along with listing properties. So that's free of charge. Pay attention to my Insured Title Facebook page and the Become a Better Agent Facebook page, and I'll be posting the flyer and updates and everything on there, but that's on the 31st.
Awesome.
And that's
Good
it.
deal.
Yeah, thank you for everything.
Tie into this stuff. That's great. Awesome. Brian Heckman.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. What's up?
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
I'm Brian Heckman with Heckman Mortgage Group. Hey guys, I think this is an awesome 12-week stretch we're running into right now, right? Higher rates, homes appreciating. Fannie Mae just increased their loan limits effective today. FHA increased loan limits effective today. Stated income products back on the market, high net worth people with a lot of money. Non-warrantable condo product back on the market, right? There's a lot of awesome opportunity out there. So I would just really encourage you, strategize exactly what you say to attract people and help you convert people, right? There's just if you break it down in just 12 weeks, there's an awesome 12-week stretch we're running into right now. So however we can help, we greatly appreciate that. We got 10 people now on our origination team to help, where a lot of companies have 1, maybe 2, support people. So we appreciate the opportunity.
Awesome.
Appreciate
Good deal. Good to see you, man. All right. All our vendors, remember, no affiliation with us. We don't have any affiliated businesses. So all our vendors are just people that have kind of passed the test of me bringing value to the table. That's the important thing for them. Kevin doing his Babas, and Jerry doing what he does as far as making sure that your clients are serviced, but getting the referral back to you when it comes time to establish that client. All those kind of things. Brian is a huge. You'll see Brian around all the time. Matter of fact, you have a big banner down at Pro, don't you? You're dressed up in a NASCAR gear or something?
It's Ricky Bobby.
That's okay, very good. All right, he's looking good. Brian does a ton of training. You'll notice the vendors who get to stick with us are ones that bring value to the table. All right, it's not just, hey, let me give you a dozen donuts and a rate sheet, and here we go. All right, it's all about bringing value to us, okay? And there's no affiliation, there's no co-ownership on any of our parts at all. They just do a great job, and that's why I'm able to feel comfortable in bringing them to the table. So, speaking of feel comfortable bringing to the table, David, you got about 5 minutes. Can you notch it in there?
No.
Okay, then, all right, forget it. We'll switch. Then we'll go. Okay, you can? All right, good deal. All right.
David Rankin, I am an attorney and also the owner of American Patriot Title, and thank you for the business that
number of you doing with us at American Patriot Title. We're located on Northdale Mayberry, just outside the Cheval subdivision. Wanted to share a few thoughts with you about one of everyone's favorite topics, probate. All right? This will help you in listing agreements, also with buyers and anticipate issues. Just want to give you some concepts so you can anticipate these issues. Not that anybody wants to have you practicing law, but at least you'll know when certain scenarios come in front of you, what to do. You need immediately to contact an attorney, get something done here as far as probate. First of all, if someone, let's say the children, adult children, contact you and say, hey, I want you to list a property. My mother just died, all right? If the title of the property was only in the mother, and either there's a will or there's not a will, but there's a problem there, because if it's titled only in the mother, the only way to convey title to the children is to have a probate, all right? So that is going to delay you. However, you can speed up the process, even though there's a probate going on, if it was her homestead property. In other words, if it was her principal place of residence. She lived there, all right? Then you have an opportunity to shorten the process. The probate attorney, it does require a probate attorney, the probate attorney would file a motion to determine homestead. And typically between, and I don't want to put too much pressure on the court system here, but anywhere between 3 and 4 weeks from the time that is filed, you can get an order determining homestead, which basically gives you the opportunity to have title of the property conveyed. The proceeds would be retained in the probate. The court would eventually distribute those funds, but at least you're not held up interminably by the probate process. However, if you have a situation where mom died or the last of mother and father died, and it is not a principal place of residence, then you will have to have a probate. There's at least a 90-day notice to creditors required. So you have a built-in 90-day delay, and it could be as long as 4 to 5 months before you get the final order. So key issue here, that the person who is on the title, the last of the husband and wife, was that their principal place of residence? You know that, okay, there can be something done here. If it was not their principal place of residence, you have a significant amount of time that's going to delay your transaction. The other thing you can do is that, well, if you have the last remaining of mother and father, they're elderly and they're not sure how long they're going to live, then one thing to consider would be encouraging your client to get to a probate or an estate planning attorney, because the title can be placed in the last, whether it's the mother or father, the last remaining of the two. It can be placed in a joint title. It can be placed, there could be a life estate created, and that would, and I try to stay away from the term avoiding probate, because that has a lot of negative connotations, but you can speed up the process as far as once that individual passes away, the transfer of the title to the individual who would have authority to sign a contract and convey title. So the other thing that I'll leave you with this thought, that if you have someone who calls up and said, Mom just died, or Mom's not doing well, we want to put her into a whatever, and
Place like this.
what's that?
Place like here.
Place like this, nice
Yeah.
place like this.
Right.
But just something, a lot of people go kind of brain dead. Either you call it brain dead because they know and they're made aware, but they don't do anything about it. But just remember, when you have an elderly individual and it's a listing appointment, or you have a buyer and there is someone elderly and it could be an issue there, and you want to investigate, you want to ask the right questions, and then you don't want to practice law, but at least you want to anticipate that issue. You'll bring benefit and value to your client because you anticipated the issue. And I think we've got an issue here. Let me check. And I'm glad to take the call. I do not litigate probate issues, but if there is an issue and you need a couple minutes to talk about it, just to sort of talk it through, this is what we got. We're going to need probate. Give me a call. But that's how you bring value to your client. Hey, we've got an issue here. Let's get this resolved. Thank you very much. Appreciate the opportunity, but we want to make sure that this goes as quickly as possible, and this is how we're going to do it. All right?
Awesome. Good deal. It's great. Yes, ma'am.
David, you
You know, I do not do wills or estate planning, but if you give me a call, I know some people who are very good at it and can take care of
I
that.
referred some people, so I wasn't sure.
Sure,
who did. Okay.
sure. Glad to help you out there.
Okay.
All right?
Important to have a couple lessons there, right? Is first of all, we get the call, Jim, and you probably get it all the time. Hey, look, I have a situation where I've got 6 people that say that they're, you know, the heirs to this thing, and who needs to sign the listing agreement, right? I always say, okay, let's go all the way, let's fast forward to the closing, right? So I'm going to contact the title company, all right, David, Kevin, whoever, and say, all right, let's do a title search, all right? Whoever has the right to sign the deed is the same one you need to have sign the contract, is the same one you need to have sign the listing agreement. Well, it's all 6. Then guess what? There's your answer, all 6. All right, yeah, but here's one, and they took a look at it, and they do have a will, and here, this person's been named as the executor of the estate. They have the full authority based upon the legal documents to therefore transfer title on behalf of the group. All right, great, then that's the only person you need. But you need to have that discussion with somebody in the know. That isn't you. That isn't you. That is not you, right? Okay, as real estate agents, right? That's not you that is going to give you a determination on what needs to transpire here. And you work yourself backward is what I always do, right? Okay, let's start at the closing. Same person, that person or persons need to sign the contract. That person or persons need to sign the listing agreement. And any other addendums or changes and everything along the way all has to be done. If it's one person, great. If it's 6, great. Then it is what it is.
I have another one.
Yeah.
Because so many of these title companies really are not clean people, the cost involved, because, you know, I'm trying to get my clients to be on the page of, even if you're the buyer agent, I really think we should select the title. It's becoming an issue, like on every closing of mine. So is there a way or a format that I can give them so what their added costs were? If I say, you know, it's really a good way if we go with the title company that's, you know,
Well, the reality, and Kevin, you teach us as well. What's the reality of control? I mean, if you negotiate where the seller pays, right, or the seller chooses title, but the buyer wants to use their own title company, right? Mm-hmm. Is there really any added cost, to either the seller and/or the buyer per se? I mean, because the seller's agent, the seller's title company can still do a simultaneous issue, correct? Yes or no?
And they can also gouge the buyer.
Well, understood.
Type of closing fee or junk fee that they want
it's
to.
generally like an 800, I mean, what's?
Right. There is no protection in the contract against the buyer's side transaction fee.
Actually, the topic that I'm teaching next Thursday is how to control title when you have the buyer. It's unusual in this market that the seller typically chooses title, but when you have the listing, take advantage of that and be in charge. But when you have the buyer, do the things that make sense and be in charge. The box check, when you check the box buyer or seller pays, that's only for the title premium itself. It doesn't relate to the closing fees or any type of junk fees or anything like that the title company may charge. So what happens a lot, like all the time, is your buyer and you and your buyer's lender are dragged to a title company that you may or may not know. It may or may not be good. They might not be approved by the lender. They may not be compliant with the CFPB rules. There's so many things that could go wrong. And then you get to the table and let's say it's a $200,000 deal. So that $1,075 premium is paid by the seller. And then you look at an $850 closing fee to your buyer and a $300 processing fee. Those have nothing to do with the box that you checked. So what I teach is how to actually control title and not cost your buyer more money by avoiding those fees and by some other things that you have to kind of consider.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If I try to explain to a buyer, saying, you know, it's really to our advantage to try to choose title. Because I am, 12 years in saying, yes, it is worth it. Work with title companies I know that are competent.
Right.
So that's what I'm trying to say. Is say it would be worth every bit of that $870.
Sure.
Well, and it's competent and non-gouging is what it is too, because you can therefore have a discussion with the title company that you're going to bring this business to and say, hey, look,
Yeah.
all right.
And have maybe a formula sheet or something.
Absolutely. Okay.
This year didn't.
Right.
And we see like, you probably noticed that lenders' upfront fees are typically way less than they used to be. They don't charge a lot of points. There's not even,
Right.
They're all paid on the back end now. So a lot of times, if you negotiate a 3% seller concession for closing cost to your buyer, sometimes the closing cost to the buyer don't even equal 3%. So why not also pay for the premium and have them cover that? So there's so many different scenarios. What I tell people is, look, when you're about to write a contract You've got the buyer, just call them and explain what's going on. And for all I, let's say you're an agent using me, for all I know, the other agent is a friend of ours. Or maybe he or she is someone that absolutely won't let you do that. I probably have insight on that. And then just talk about the actual transaction scenario. What's the best way to approach it so that you can be in control without costing your client money.
Yeah, okay, great.
That's one of the things I think that hopefully they're looking at revisions of the contract, that there is going to be some type of line item that we can control that a little bit, so that there isn't. And it quite typically it's not the title companies. A lot of times it's when attorney only,
Yeah.
right? Okay, not because you're an attorney that owns a title company,
Right.
but we've got attorneys that do closings. They're the ones that are, hey man, if it doesn't have 5 digits in it, then it's not a fee, right? Okay, and so to most attorneys, not you, of course,
That's right,
Dave. All right,
that's
but most attorneys. So you have to really protect yourself against that, Tom.
Yeah, the current forms that we have,
Yep.
especially the FAR bar forms, allow you to pick the title company as a buyer. And if you're concerned about the seller paying for the actual title policy, that's why you have paragraph 21, additional terms. And you just put in there that the seller will reimburse the buyer the promulgated rate for the seller's for the buyer's title policy.
It's good verbiage right there. All right, so the buyer chooses, or no, you're saying,
Check the box that the buyer chooses the title company.
right?
Okay?
Again, that says also buyer will pay.
Correct. But then in paragraph 21, the additional terms of the contract, you put in there that the seller will reimburse the buyer at closing the promulgated rate of the buyer's title policy.
Lender's okay with that?
You don't have to know the calculation.
Okay, yeah, not just because you say the promulgated rate.
Reimburse the buyer the promulgated rate. 'Cause
Problem?
all title
Promulgated,
promulgated. All-
PROMULGATED,
They all
promulgated.
charge the same rate for the actual title insurance policy. Where they make their fees is in their search fees and their closing fees and things of that nature. So the promulgated rate is pretty much.
Well, it's standard set, correct?
No matter
Yeah.
who pays, it's going to be the same. So you say that the seller will reimburse the buyer the cost of the promulgated rate of the buyer's title policy.
That way you don't have to worry about knowing the calculation.
You don't have to calculate anything.
Right. Well, you do, but you just got to choose the right title company.
You don't have to
Right.
become a closing.
No, and nor should you, and that's a good way, because that's the downside of the contract, is that when you check buyer, then it says the buyer pays for the title. But what he's saying is check buyer, because then you can control the title, yet then by adding on that verbiage at the end that says now you're going to get reimbursed the cost of the actual insurance.
I
All right.
do that with
So
a lot
good.
of investors that I
Yeah.
work with.
That's
I think it even
They
goes
want
back
to
to
close
your,
where they want to close.
yeah.
when you're initially talking to someone about being their buyer's agent, I think an excellent way to set yourself apart is to say, look, when you're working with me, you're going to work with my team. I've got the best lenders around. I know a couple of great title companies. We're going to work with all of them. Anybody else that you work with is going to let the seller, i.e. your opponent, drag us to whatever title company they want, and you may or may not get price gouged. They may or may not close on time. They certainly aren't going to go backwards for you. So all the way back to the point of securing the buyer relationship at the very first, that's an important thing to bring up. And then fight for it. And if you don't win the fight, then you don't win the fight. At least you try.
Right. Brian.
And it's big on like structure the conversation, like not a script that's too like locked down, but just to create some structure. And so on that topic, whether it's lender, title, inspector, I always equate it with people and they really get it to a lender, we call it a lender handoff, but it's like if you hand off a football and you toss it to Tom, that's not a handoff. If I hand it off this way to Tom, or that way to Tom, or that way to Tom, it might get fumbled. But if we take the football and hand it off like it's supposed to be handed off to the running back, and Tom's ready to take that handoff and take it, it's a totally different game. So like that handoff that you make, like that's kind of that structure that you can present, whether it's a title company, hey, here's the thing, we can pitch you the ball and you can decide where you want to go. We can literally put this in your bread basket, let you clamp down on it and avoid fumbles. Is a huge opportunity just to create the, oh yeah, it kind of makes sense. Yeah, you don't be fumbling the football, you know what I mean? So this is an idea how you can create that conversation around it.
It's good verbiage right there as well. That's great. Awesome. David, last thing?
Let me just follow up back to the probate issue. If you are signing up, if you're at a listing, and there was an allusion to this, but let me just sort of drive it home. If you have multiple owners and there may be a probate issue, and you may, I think what Bob was anticipating is, okay, you get a listing agreement signed, but it's not a legally enforceable listing agreement. You do not have anything. You have absolutely nothing. It disappears into thin air if you don't have all the people who have an interest in that property. In other words, if there are 3 owners, if there was, you have to take a look at that issue, because if you don't have all the signatures of all the people who are quote-unquote owners, whether they're tenants in common, husband and wife, parent and children, whoever they are, if you don't have all of them, then the one that you lack could say, hey, I don't like this person, I don't know this person, we're going to my guy, all right? And then you've lost that listing. So that is the importance, the significance of what Bob was saying about go to the closing table, who has to sign, get all those signatures on the listing agreement, or you've got nothing. All right?
Exactly, because it's invalid anyway, so there's nothing to invalidate if it's invalid to begin with.
Everyone that's on it is on the tax records, right? The legal, I mean, in general.
Well, you gotta watch out. The tax records. The tax records are what's the lowest paid person at the down at the courthouse who has been asked to take a look at all the deeds and type certain things. You know, there are people, realtors, who just swear by the legal description that's on the property appraiser's website. All right, wrong. That is not the legal description. There may be some, 50, 60% of them, that may be accurate, but there are a huge number that aren't. Same thing applies to who owns the property. If you rely upon that, shame on you, because there's going to be a situation, if you're at this long enough, where that will be wrong, and we'll have the situation that Bob described, where you have a signature, or you have signatures, but you're lacking one, you got nothing.
So where is the place that you're back?
Get a preliminary title search done every time. Get a preliminary. You're gonna go before you go to a listing. Talk to one of these guys and say, I need a free preliminary title search done. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I see you're sitting at the table. Did you know? I see that your son Johnny is also on the title. Oh no, we took him off. Well, you better tell somebody. All right. Okay, because he got addicted to this and that. And next thing you know, we did a quitclaim. Well, what'd you do with that quitclaim? I think we got it right here. Okay, well, was it ever filed? No, it wasn't, but we got it. And I said, okay, well, we need to give constructive notice. And so we got it. So why you would ever take anything without having a preliminary search done is beyond me. Because you got people that are doing these for free, all right, that will, good partners in your title search, in your title, portion of your business, and say, hey, look, I'm getting ready to take this listing. I need to confirm who the owners are. Because why take a listing with a non-owner or not all the owners?
Now, there's a scenario, and Kevin's seen this also, where they say, oh, we took him off. Well, where's that deed? And they show up with the deed, and I would say 40 to 50% of the time, it does not satisfy the legal requirements of a deed in Florida. So once again, they quote unquote took that person off the deed. Well, it didn't work.
Yeah. My cousin Vinny from New Jersey did the deed.
Go.
Right, exactly.
There you go. Well, we got their signature.
I love that. It's a great movie.
Or that the form will be wrong. But anyway, it's got to satisfy all the legal requirements that are required in Florida. Otherwise, it's a waste of paper. All right.
Sam.
Yeah, one more question. I have a 90-year-old friend who just had a stroke. When she was of sound mind, she refused to give power of attorney to either one of her children, adult children.
Mm-hmm.
So now the daughter is calling me, she's never going to be able to go home again. And I've talked to her, and I'm also a registered nurse. She has a problem comprehending what you're telling her. So to sign a contract or anything is,
Right.
there'd be some question there. And the daughter says to me, we have to sell the house right away. And I said, don't pay for her care. And I said, look, wait a minute. Your name is not on title. You don't have power of attorney. My initial advice to her, first of all, you have to contact an attorney and see how you can, your mother's not capable of signing. You need to find out how you can obtain the power of attorney to take care of her stuff. So what is that a long process for her to try now to go to an attorney and say, look, my mother is not really capable of
Yeah, she's
signing?
now deemed mentally unfit to do this. So so what can she sign to get her?
Well, the issue here is competency.
Right.
Competency. Now,
That applies to a lot of people.
If you-
They have to be old.
if you have an individual, essentially the case law says if they understand the significance of what's happening, then they are, I mean, this is very, very broad, speaking very generally, then they are competent. The problem you have is if they are incompetent. If they are not competent, then the only way to have a legally binding document, whether it's a power of attorney or any other document, or signing a deed or a listing agreement, would be to have a guardianship. All right, and that does take time, and there is an expense, filing fee, attorney's fees, and that takes a while. So if you have a situation where the person, let's say is in a sad situation where they're in the initial stages of Alzheimer's, but they are competent at that time, and once again, you may need to consult with an attorney, but that would be the time, anticipating the issue, that would be the time while they are competent to either sign a power of attorney or create a deed or a life estate, all right? But that's, anticipate the issue. I'm not telling you what the exact resolution is because it depends on the facts, but realize that at some point that person will go from being competent, legally competent, to being incompetent, and then you have the burden and the time that it takes to go through a guardianship proceeding. And so when you see something like that happening, establish what the facts are, what's the prognosis, that kind of thing. If it looks like they're going into, it's dementia of some kind, or it's, there's no label on it, but they're getting worse, then you want to make them aware there could be an issue. And once again, bringing value to the transaction. Hey, this is what we need to do. This is what not practicing law. It looks like we have an issue, and we need to talk to an attorney to make sure that we address this issue before this gets to the point where a guardianship is required, and then we have a 3 or 4 month delay.
A couple lessons here too. Hey, number one, all right, look around the room. Safe to assume probably 70% of us don't have this for our own stuff. Okay? Oh, we're great. Oh, you should have. Boy, I wish they would have. And I go, man, boy, and I didn't. Right? Okay? Do this. It's not that hard. Okay? Go take care of this stuff. All right? Practice what you preach, number one, for yourself. All right? This stuff, don't be a burden to your heirs. Okay? It's the worst thing you can do. All right? Why make it difficult? You know what I mean? Let them put a nice picture of you at a memorial service and remember you fondly, not, that SOB, what a lazy son of a, jeez. I've got 90 days before I can touch this cash because he can't stink it, you know what I mean? All right? Do the honorable thing and do what you're supposed to do. And it's a good reason to go and reach out to your clients, right? Past clients, good reason, hey, you know what? Not a comfortable subject to talk about, but let's talk, right? Have you got things in place? Yes, ma'am.
And who determines is it a medical doctor that determines the competency? What's legally required to determine the competency?
Well, this is something they teach you the first week in law school. The word is, it depends. All right. Ultimately,
I could be a lawyer. I could do that.
Ultimately, a probate and guardianship judge, sometimes based on the testimony of, okay, this is describing the person and their mental acuity and that kind of thing. Sometimes they'll grant a guardianship and appoint a guardian. Say, first of all, 2 steps. One is that they are no longer competent, and then the other issue is who could serve as the guardian. But in the issue of whether they are competent, a lot of times they'll do it based on the testimony of people who spend time with them describing to the judge what issues they've had. Sometimes, especially when you get into litigation, as far as competing claims on property, and I want to be the guardian, then the court will appoint or ask that an opinion be given from a medical professional. Right. Not always required.
There's no pat answer, but yeah. And again, the best way to avoid it is to avoid it on the front side. And it's amazing. You know, every time I carry my umbrella, it never rains. All right? You trust me, Jeanette and I rarely, we just don't, because with young children at home, we don't travel much together. When we do, it's all four of us, all right? But right now I travel a lot more, but it's never an issue until we're getting ready to all four travel together, because now it's an issue, and we got, hey, we make sure everything, our living will's updated, or our power, yeah, all these things, all right? She's always handing me, I've got to go back and dig things out of the safe and make sure that we're all buttoned up and tightened up and where we're supposed to be, right? And it's just, you trust me, it's you know, to the point of Jeanette, I mean, she comes from a corporate background, so when we were adopting Samuel from Russia, when we flew to Moscow, we could never fly in the same flight, because Joseph wasn't, our biological son wasn't going to be with us, so if anything happened, at least he had one parent, you know what I mean? And that's what, it comes from her being a C-level executive, that none of the C-level executives were allowed to fly together, so that you had the continuity of leadership in the business. So some things to think about, you know, if you don't do it. So thank you. It's not often we get free, you know, legal advice, all right? You know, it doesn't, let me check my wallet, make sure he didn't get my credit card out. No, it's still there. All right, okay. You know, those attorneys, he slides, I'm sliding his hand toward my credit card part. Said, this is a billable hours. All right, here we go. All right, so Brian, you ready? Brian Brown. I know Brian Heckman's always ready, but Brian Brown's always ready as well. So this is Brian Brown from Old Republic Home Warranty. Great. By the way, you said we're now one of your highest accounts, right?
You are number one.
Nice. We love that. Great job, guys. He's well deserved. Well deserved to do that. So we'll let Brian tell you, and I'll get your PowerPoint set up for you.
Okay, well, Happy New Year to everybody, and I do appreciate you guys being here today. I know that you guys have been inundated. I'm the third warranty company to come talk to you guys in 4 months, so I'm going to try to make this a little bit different. I'm hoping this is a little bit different than what everybody brought. So today, what I'm going to talk about is, what do you need to know about home warranties? Okay, there's certain things that you guys probably need to know that you may not. Some of you may know. One is, what is the purpose of a home warranty? Because I have a lot of people that don't really understand what it is. It's to cover unexpected repairs of the mechanicals of normal wear and tear, okay? Covered items have to be currently in good working order. That's a key word, good working order at time of closing. And we're basically there to help homeowners budget a major repair, okay? And what I usually hear when I'm walking through offices is, oh yeah, we had a bad inspection report, but don't worry about it, just buy a warranty, they'll cover it. That is not what we do, okay? So, there it is. I can't tell you how many times we are not there to cover a bad inspection report. If you have a bad inspection report, I suggest that you get that item fixed or get a credit. Still buy a home warranty, but you know, you want the buyer, especially if you've got the buyer, you want to protect them, whatever item that is, and most of the time it's either AC or hot water heaters. That's the two big things we deal with in Florida, and we're going to talk about those. So, you know, we're not there to cover a bad home inspection report. Now, we don't really care about age, okay? If it's 15 years old and the AC is 15 years old or 18 years old or 20 years old and it's running in good condition, that's great for us. You know, well, we don't care about, like some of the companies won't take anything over 15 days. So, also I want to say is I hear this all the time, well, home warranties are all the same. You guys are completely different, you run your businesses different, our home warranty is different than our competitors, okay? We're not all the same. Stay away from internet-only companies. They are not regulated by Florida law. So when you get a bunch of emails that say, hey, you know, choose this company, you might want to check to see if you don't have the brochures in your office or you don't have a salesman rep in Florida, stay away from those companies, because I will tell you that most of them have really, really bad ratings. And if there's an issue, you have nobody to talk to and they're not going to help you because they don't really care. They're not even licensed in Florida. The other thing I promise you is that you will get the most coverage for whatever investment you make in a warranty with Old Republic. Whatever you spend or whatever your client spends, we're going to give them the best coverage, okay? We also have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, okay? And I say that because if you go and Google home warranty companies and do searches on Yelp and all that is, our reputations for home warranties are never very good. And the reason for, and some of them are because they actually they pay people to write reviews for themselves, okay? We don't do any of that. We're not an internet company. We're here for you guys we're kind of a brick and mortar company. So, but when it comes down right to it, if we've got a complaint and through Better Business Bureau or anything like that, we solve it, okay? So that tells you. And I gotta tell you, if you look at most of my competitors, they don't have A+ rating for the Better Business Bureau. The ones that have really good stuff on Yelp probably have a B- or a B. So that should tell you something. And the other thing I'll tell you is with home warranties, it's all about coverage, not about price, okay? Because sometimes we're a little less, sometimes we're a little more, but whatever you spend, whatever that dollar amount is, you're gonna get the most coverage. So I'm gonna go over really quick things that we cover that most companies don't cover. We have no limit on age equipment, but remember, it still has to be in what? Good working order, okay? And we cover the refrigerator with ice maker, which most companies do. They either charge you extra for it, sometimes it's included in their standard plan, but believe it or not, we're the only one that covers the water dispenser and the ice crusher, which is part of that system, okay? So, we cover the washer and dryer in the standard plan. You don't have to pay extra for it. Some companies include it, some companies don't, but we do include that. So we also cover, anybody sold a condo in a high-rise building before? Anybody know where those air conditioners are? We're one of the few companies that cover cranes and mismatch systems under our ultimate plan. That crane could cost your agent $2,000 to have a crane come out and get it on, get the old one off and get the new one on, okay? The other thing that we do that a lot of them don't is we'll clear a line without access. If you don't have access to the sewer line, a clean out, we will actually clear a line under our platinum plan, okay? You can also use that money. There's $250 to do that with. If you wanted to, you could use that money to actually put an access line in. Wouldn't pay for the whole line, but it would pay for a lot of it. So we're one of the few companies who will actually do that. 99% of them, well actually 100% of them will not do that. They won't clear a line. They won't pay for that because you have to go through a toilet or you have to pull the toilet or you have to go through the roof to clean the line. And the other thing is we hydrojet a line to clear it. If we can't clear it with a regular snake, we pay for hydrojetting, which is basically water pressure. Again, we're one of the only companies that do that. And again, that's even with our standard plan. So like I said, it's really all about coverages. Some other things. We're the only company, we have an option called extended slab leak, external, POPE. Yeah, until I did this while I was on vacation, right? We gotta fix that. Pipe leak coverage, okay. So homeowners own from the meter to the house. Home warranties traditionally only cover things that are basically encapsulated in the house, okay? So we're the only company that you can actually buy an option that will give you $1,000 more for a leak in the concrete, and you also pick up $1,000 worth of coverage for that pipe that runs from the meter to the house, okay? And I have to tell you that I probably get 2 to 3 calls a month on, hey, my homeowner's got to put in a new line, do you guys cover that? Well, yeah, we do if you have the right option, okay? There it is right there. So if you've got a house that's 35 years old or 25 years old and it's all the original piping, you may want to consider talking to your buyer about that, okay? And a lot of companies charge for second opinions. If we want to send out a company for a second opinion, a lot of the companies charge their deductible again for a second opinion. We do not do that. Okay, so if we're going to send out a second opinion because you don't agree with the diagnosis and I don't agree with it because you've called me and I went, yeah, I think we need to get somebody else out there to look at it, then no calls. Okay, so the other thing I want to talk about, and while I'm talking, if you've got any questions, write them down because I'm going to, at the end of this, hopefully, take any questions you've got about my warranty, anybody else's warranty, any questions you've got, I will try to answer those. So, real quick, most of you will know this, but we're going from R22 coolant to 410A coolant. Federal regulations require a 13 or a 14 SEER unit, which is on the plan, you'll see them as AHRI standards, and I'll come back to that for a minute because that's important to know. Does anybody know that Freon, which is R22 in the AC coolants, is about $100 a pound retail right now? And why I say that retail is because if a home warranty company is not covering it, you pay retail, okay? So that could cost your client $400, $600. I actually saw one the other day. I got a call from an agent and said, do you guys cover AC coolant? And we go, yeah. And they go, well, I let this other agent pick it, and my client just got billed for $960 for Freon. Wow. So, Florida mandate. When replacing an R22 system, you must replace the air handler and the condensing unit the same time with a 410A system. Okay? That's important to know because it's really not in all the states. Us in North Carolina, in the other states, like Georgia, if we have to replace a condensing unit and it fails, and it's an R22 unit, we put a new 410A unit in, run all new lines, and hook it to the old air handler. Can't do that in Florida. You have to replace the whole system. Okay? And air handlers and attics, if you have a house that has an air conditioner, the air handler that's in the attic, it's going to have a lot of code upgrades and a lot of modifications because they do not want, insurance companies don't want them there anymore. So there's all new kinds of regulations for those. So if you've got one like that, you want to make sure that you have the best plan to cover the most amount of money because that's going to be probably, I don't know, could be $800 to $1,500 just in code upgrades and modifications when they install the new one, if they're still installing it in the attic, okay? So that's important information for you guys to know. So, coverages. We cover all the R22 coolant, not just $10 a pound or $20 a pound. Some of them don't cover it all. I saw one the other day. This is an internet company. I saw one the other day. It was phrased, we pay 100% of the AC coolant at the rate of 410A. Which basically says they're going to pay $10 a pound. Okay? So again, it's all about, disclosure. If you do not see replacement with a completed in accordance with the Florida State Code 403.6.2, whatever it is, following AHRI standards. If you see under the AC thing that they're going to replace it under AHRI standards, that doesn't mean they're covering both components of the air conditioner. They're not covering the Florida Band-Aid, okay? You remember a slide back what that means? 13 or 14 SEER, which is regular. All it's telling you is they're going to put in a more efficient air conditioner. They're not telling you they're going to cover both of those components, okay? So don't be, we are one of the few companies that cover and give it to you in writing that says if we have to go from a R22, we can't find parts, we have to replace it, we're going to pay for both of those components, even on our standard plan. We're going to pay for the condensing unit and the air handler, okay? And I heard this the other day. I was at a meeting. Someone said, don't be fooled by we cover both parts of the AC. Or we cover both components of the AC. Well, they do. Everybody does. If they both break, they'll be happy to replace them both. But if only one breaks, your homeowner's paying for that other part. Okay? Any questions on that? We'll come back to that. Okay, water heaters, that's the other thing that we deal with. Hot water heaters regulations changed, and because they're more efficient, they're larger. Okay, so the new hot water heaters are taller and bigger around. A lot of times you have to move the plumbing and the electric to stay in code. Okay, because by code, that pipe, the plumbing and the electric lines have to be so many inches above the hot water heater. You had a hot water heater that's 2 inches taller, guess what? You got to move the plumbing 2 inches. Okay? That is a modification. For us, that's covered under our ultimate plan. But just know that that may be an additional expense to replace a hot water heater. Okay? Condo, will it fit in the old unit? Will it even fit in the space, right? A lot of times these condos were built right around the hot water heaters. Now we're going to put a hot water heater in, okay? So again, think platinum for that, because we'll pay $1,000 to tear out the drywall and make a little more space for it, okay? So that's covered under that. The other thing is you might want to know is there's no cheap hot water heaters anymore, okay? The hot water companies took a really big advantage of the fact that they were going to have to put in, build these new efficient hot water heaters. So a lot of those hot water heaters went up 50%. So if you think, oh, 5 years ago I ran down to Home Depot and paid $238 for a hot water heater and did it myself, those days really, well, first of all, it's going to be illegal because once you put the new one in, it's probably going to be out of code. But anyway, the prices have gone up. So here's some other things that you need to know about home warranties that you may not know. Home inspections are a shot in time. Just because they worked 30 days ago doesn't mean they're in good working order today, right? That's why the walkthrough is so important, okay? They're just giving you a shot in time. I mean, I gotta bet that everybody that's been here, has been in for longer than 10 years, has had a home inspection and 2 days later had something that they had to have fixed, right? And you go, well, how did the inspector miss this? He didn't miss it. It was working that day, okay? That's all it is. All they're taking is, the other thing you need to know about home inspectors is, remember, they're not AC guys. The number one important thing in that, the most expensive part of that house, or a lot of times, is that AC unit, right? All they're doing is taking a visual check and checking temperature. If I've got a seller who knows they've got an issue, all they're gonna do is pump it full of Freon and it'll be okay. And it'll be okay for 30 days when you do the walkthrough, but in about 45 days, they're not gonna have air conditioning, okay? And because they've had a leak. So I always recommend, if you've got any system that's an R22 system, that it's running Freon, have an AC, find an AC person that will check it for you and give you an honest AC person. One that's, don't use those companies where say, I'll give you, we'll for $29, we'll come and do because what they're there for is to sell you a new unit, okay? You need to find a good, competent AC company, get them to inspect it with your home inspector, and because the only way you're going to really know is put gauges on it, all right? So if you want to really protect your seller, do that. If you're doing a walkthrough, video the walkthrough, and this is actually really good for liability purposes for you too. I actually learned this at an E&O seminar. Showing that the AC, and one of the most important things is show the AC that it's cooling. So take a picture, show a video with a date that shows that you walk through and that shows that the AC is set at 75 and it's running at 75. Okay, don't do it if it's 86 and running at 86. It's probably not going to do you any good if we have an issue. But this may help me help you someday, okay? The other thing is the equipment must work for the new homeowner. The plan does not go in effect until they actually own the property. So if you did a walkthrough 3 days before the closing, and then they go in and they turn the house power on and the AC doesn't work, did it work for the homeowner?
No.
Is it going to be covered? Maybe, maybe not. That's right where we're in the gray areas of home warranties. We have to, we look at everyone individually, but really, the equipment must work for them. The dishwasher needs to run through one cycle and actually clean the dishes for one time. The AC has to work for a day. It's got to work, okay? The other thing is, and I hear this all the time, is they'll call me and go, which home warranty can I buy that covers everything? There is no such animal. Home warranties do not cover everything. Our plans, the nice thing about our plans is these are our plans. You don't have to buy a warranty to find out what's in the warranty, because a lot of companies it'll either say sample, or it's a different piece of paper of like 10 pages long of stuff. This is our plan. This tells you what's covered and not covered. It's pretty simple, and we have an email version of it. So things you should know. Some appliances AC are factory-only parts. This is where I get these calls all the time. Why is it taking 10 days to get a part? And inevitably I call in and find out it's a Trane air conditioner, it's a special washer and dryer, it's a special, some parts you can't get them in Tampa and run up to the parts place and get them. You have to get them from Trane. Trane is the worst, by the way. One of the best air conditioners, one of the worst services, okay? We cannot control that, okay? So if you're listing a property and it's got a Trane air conditioner, you might want to let the homeowner know that it doesn't matter if it's us fixing that AC or the local AC guy down the street. He's got to order the parts from Trane, and they will send them to you when they decide it's time to send them to you. They won't FedEx them. They won't pay for extra. Even if you pay for it, they won't do it. One-day delivery. So, and now let's stump the homeowner guy. Has anybody got any questions? Yes.
Brian, if the seller is willing to offer a home warranty at the time the listing is created,
Correct.
is the seller covered for any problems later down between a listing date
Only if they buy seller's coverage,
and that's available?
and that's available for $75. But I will tell you this, $1,500 limit on AC does not cover the refrigerator, washer, and dryer, okay? And $1,500 limit on plumbing. But yes, you can do that, but what it does not cover is if you do a home inspection and they discover something, that's not a covered item. It's only covered if it breaks under normal wear and tear. If they find an issue, and the reason we do that is because basically you could, hate to say this, but you could do a inspection report and then buy seller's coverage. Because agents try to do it all the time. That is not what they're designed there for. Back to slide 1. Everything has to be in good working order. We cover things that happen, that unexpectedly happen, okay? Any other questions?
What's the cost for an existing homeowner saying they're not wanting them, they just bought a house, but they weren't thinking about getting a home warranty? Their agent told them, you should get a home warranty, but after closing, they come to you and say, hey, I think I might want to do a home warranty, which happens when I was 29.
Okay. Well, here's the deal. You have 30 days to buy a home warranty after closing. If you don't, you can still buy it. We can still get it for the customer. There's a 30-day wait. Okay?
So you have 30 days after closing to get it immediate coverage.
Immediate coverage, right.
But then after that, there's a 30-day waiting period.
Right. Correct. Okay? You have a question back there?
So now I'm wondering, we have an inspection on a house. I'm representing the buyer, okay? We have the inspection on the house. We come to day closing, going to do a walkthrough. I'm sitting here wondering, gee, maybe if we should have the inspector come back and do
Not a bad idea.
a quick inspection.
I think it's a wonderful idea. Yeah.
Especially the items that were supposedly repaired.
Right.
I mean, you can't sit there and say, okay, yeah, I got an invoice or.
I have one of those. I have one of those right now.
Yeah.
That we turned down because they were supposed to. Basically the home inspection said you need to replace this or clean it.
Yeah.
So they sent somebody to clean it who couldn't clean it because it was so deteriorated. If they cleaned it,
It would fall apart.
it would fall apart.
Yeah.
So they never cleaned it and they closed. So we came out there and went, this thing's never been cleaned.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't, so that's it. So yeah, have them go through, and I would have, again, if you can get an AC guy, do your AC check. Make sure there's Freon in the system.
Does the seller's coverage cover that gray area that you were talking about?
It could or could not. Again, it's going to depend on the situation. Everything's on a case-by-case basis. We don't, so I'm going to tell you that it absolutely isn't covered, but it sure would help, yes.
But maybe only up to that $1,500.
Probably, right. Or, well, it would be up to that.
Oh, it would be.
Yeah, but I mean, but again, it's one of those things where, I'm not a huge fan of seller's coverage, to be quite honest with you. And my company doesn't like to do this, but I'll just tell you, if it was me, I would buy a regular plan on it.
And then transfer it over to
Transfer it and pay the difference in cost.
So it doesn't really cover very much.
Correct.
And your breaks.
Right, and to be quite honest with you, I don't want to deal with it because, those are the ones I have to deal with the most are those, and I'm not a real big fan of sellers. Do I need to leave? Is that why you're standing there?
No,
okay.
That's right.
Okay. Okay, so.
As long as they got questions, they're good.
Okay, so any other yeah, did that answer your?
Over to the new buyers.
Right, and then pay the difference, yep.
Yeah.
Depends on how many days you took to sell the house. It's prorated, so if the,
So because it covers for a year from when the seller got it.
Correct.
So you would just
It's prorated, right.
prorate it based upon
Right.
that.
So it depends on how good realtor are you and got it sold.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Sometimes when a seller's
And it's probably going to be more than the $75 seller's coverage, but.
The seller purchasing a standard plan would have to wait that
30 days.
right?
Correct.
For the plan to take effect?
No,
It's immediate?
that would be immediate, right?
yeah.
So how come Daniel's
Okay.
supposed to wait 30 days?
All right, because here's how we're going to do it. This is probably being recorded. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to, you want to do it before you actually list the property.
That's what I was thinking.
Then we do it as what we call an agent referral, so it's just like you referred a friend.
Sure.
We write the plan, then you list it, okay?
And it's covered immediately.
Right. If you list it, then we may have an issue, but it's something you want to do ahead of time, right? Right, because we will check, and you got to pay for it up front. The difference is a seller's plan, you don't pay for it until the closing. So you'd pay for the buyer's plan and the seller's plan, so. At closing. Or if we do bill the $75, if they use it or not, they get charged for the $75 because in Florida we're regulated by the insurance commissioner and nothing is free. We can't give we can't give a seller's plan for free. Okay, we fix.
Everybody has.
Right, we fix polyurethane piping, polybutyl. Yeah, we will fix it. We don't replace it. We will fix it. So if it's got a leak, we'll fix it. It's not right, but we're not gonna, you can't buy our plan and go, hey, come.
So if it breaks, but
Yeah.
it's still not insurable anyway.
Right, yeah, we don't, yeah, we're not the answer to buying a home warranty and then we'll replace all the piping. We're there, but we will fix it up to $500. And we're one of the few companies that do that, by the way, and we do I have a lot of mobile home customers, and there's a lot of mobile home piping that's that way, and the nice part of that is easy access and we can fix it, yeah.
Sorry, just two clarifications. So going back to this, have the seller buy it in advance and transfer it over, that seems like a great idea. But again, going back to that 30-day wait, I thought if it wasn't a closing situation, you definitely have a 30-day wait from the time that you
Okay.
file a plan to the time it could be.
No, if you're buying a plan at closing and we put it at closing, the homeowner owns it at closing. Okay? If they wait 30 days, okay, then they have a 30-day wait. Because they've had a closing, they've had 30 days to think about it and find all the things that are wrong, and that's why they're buying a home warranty usually. Okay, so we only give them 30 days. If we do it ahead of time, okay, it's a different warranty because it's not a property that's gone through a real estate transaction. Okay, does that make sense?
It's not a post-closing transaction,
Correct.
I guess, okay.
Yep.
makes sense. That's the difference. I'm with you. What's the difference? And the difference is it hadn't just gone through a real estate transaction.
Right, and that way I can use what I call an agent referral. I mean, if your neighbor wanted one, you could, said, hey, I should get a warranty. You can, we go through you.
No waiting period on that.
No waiting period on that as long as it's referred to us by the agent. Now, when a customer calls us direct, which we try not to do, we basically would love to do just business with you, but we do have the public call us and we can't turn them down. They pay a lot. They pay $150 to $225 more for the warranty, and there's a 30-day wait.
Well, it hasn't had a home inspection just gone through, and the reason they're calling is because people call their health insurance person, oh, by the way, I just got diagnosed with cancer yesterday, I need coverage.
Correct.
Okay? Oh, by the way, my AC just broke, maybe let me get a home warranty.
Correct.
And that's 98% their actual.
Our losses on those are huge.
Yeah, have to be. And they're actually say, where's the common denominator here? Oh,
Yeah.
it's these type of people have
Yeah.
these type of claims. That's, by the way, why they always pull your credit when you get insurance.
Right.
Why? Well, guess what? If you're going through bankruptcy, you have a tendency to slip and fall. All right? There's common denominator, people. You think I'm going to be real smart.
Right.
Okay? All right? They know this stuff, and that's why they pull, because people with poor credit have more insurance claims. Period.
Yeah. And quite honest with you, as an industry, I get this call all the time, if it fails in the first couple of weeks, your homeowner is going to get a little grilled. Okay, I'm just going to say that because at one time as an industry, our losses, our first 3 weeks of losses were 30% of our business, which tells you that there's so much fraud in that, it's unbelievable.
It can happen, right? And
it can happen, it can be legit.
But build a case on the front side, like what you're telling him. Hey,
Yes.
show that the AC was working on day of closing. Hey,
Right.
Brian, it broke the next day. What can I tell you, man?
Yeah, help me help you. And the other thing is, and I hate to say this, but the good people get caught in with the bad people. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is. So
Well, your policies
Right.
would be less if there wasn't fraud.
these
Your
would-
head of lettuce would cost less at the
Yeah.
store if people didn't
Yes.
steal.
Right.
All right? Okay?
Exactly
Who
right.
pays for the people that steal? The people that pay. All right? There's shrinkage that they
Right.
factor into their profit and loss. All right? Hello, let's Pollyanna walk through the world like everything's
Right.
perfect. They're bad people and we pay. Period.
It is.
All right?
That's why I love coming here, by the way. What's that? One more question?
So just one more clarification about what you were saying about the air conditioner being very careful with other warranty companies saying that we replace them both. I just want to be very clear.
No, they cover them both.
That they cover them
Yeah.
both.
Right, they do cover them both. What they don't do is replace them both.
You see what happens is this, by law
So you
now.
have to now replace them both by law. So what does it?
It doesn't matter, it's a mandate, and if you read in all this, every one of us, including us, have a thing that says we don't cover mandates. And the reason for that is we could issue this tomorrow, and the Florida legislature says, hey, you know what? We're gonna pass a law that says everybody gets, we're gonna pass a mandate that says everybody has to have, I don't know, a new car or whatever, and we would, so we don't cover mandates, and so.
Well, what would happen is, yes, they would have to replace both.
But you pay for it.
The other insurance companies would make the homeowner pay for the other part.
Right.
And when you asked if it's covered, they go, and they don't say anything more.
Right.
I specifically asked that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you ask that question, they'll tell you. If you don't see it under their, okay, this is what I tell people all the time. This is something you would never hide in a warranty. It's going to be under the air conditioning section that says, hey, we cover this, because it's something we want to shout and go, hey, we cover this. It's not something that's going to be buried in all the legal stuff, right? So if you don't see it, as earlier, that says, hey, we cover this, if it says it covers the, let's go back there. Oops, I went the wrong way. If it says it covers replacement under AHRI standards, that is not the same thing. That's SEER. That's efficiency.
It has nothing to do with the two.
Nothing to do with the mandate from Florida. Nothing. Okay? So did I get that clear?
Yep.
Okay, so,
And that is recorded, so we can always go back to the tape if we have.
yes.
Yes.
So, one question I didn't get, do we pay?
You pay, like, do you
Do we pay you guys commissions?
Oh, yeah. No.
Okay, we don't. Okay? And I will just say this in my last snide remark. Okay? If you have a company that's willing to pay you money to sell their warranty, there's a reason, because they have to pay you to sell their warranty, because if you ever read it, you wouldn't use it. So I'm just saying that...
Not naming names.
Not naming names. I'm just saying that, you know, if I had their warranty, I'd have to pay you to take it too. That's all I'm saying. So, any other questions?
Not
Okay,
naming
we are
names, it
done.
rhymes with 11 Snover Street. That's what it rhymes with.
There you go.
Good
Thank
job.
you. Thank you.
All right, good deal. They do a great job. I'm telling you, I like Brian because he's a straight shooter. He's going to tell you, hey, don't find the right? Oh, you know what I mean? My
Yeah, I mean, oh.
All right, we'll wrap up and get out of here. And if you ever got any questions, reach out to Brian. All right?
Yeah, and I'll answer questions from other, if you got somebody who has an issue with another company, I'll kind of guide you in the right
David.
There was a mention about PB polybutyl.
Yeah. Yep.
There is an insurance company that came here, actually.
Yeah.
They have-
Sile.
They have 3 carriers.
Yeah, there are carriers that will cover polybutylene. Sile Insurance, S-I-H-L-E. See, best decision you ever made to start coming to these office meetings. You never know what might show up. I'm telling you. S-I-H-L-E, they're on our website. Speaking of our website, let me just show you this real quick so you guys know where to find the calendar. All right, because the calendar is chock full. Hey, and Renee, I just saw you, and you're on my list today to call you because today's your birthday, is it not? See, look at that. Save me a phone call, all right? One less phone call I have to make today, so happy birthday. I always tell agents when I call them, my gift to you is that I will not sing happy birthday. And that is my gift, all right, is that I won't sing happy birthday to you, and get that done. So, okay. Was it really? Yeah. Well, again, happy birthday. All right, perfect. All right, so a couple places you can go to our calendar. Among the 942 other things I had Jim do on a daily basis, all right, was to maintain our calendar, which he kind of got left a little bit, you know, he would put it on there. So no fault of his. I just now have somebody else that's handling that. So our calendar on our website is up to date and will be up to date, so it will be a go-to place. If you go to Future Home Realty Facebook page, on the side, if you're on, I'm always on my phone, but if you're actually on the computer, on the side there's a calendar tab. You can click that. It's there. But if you go to the, it is chock full today. All right. So today, tomorrow, I mean, it's chock full this month. So there's loads of stuff, and it's actually, let me show it. Where am I going? Here we go. Log in. It's all, you know, your calendar's on the back, kind of the hidden part.
Can we sync that to our Google Calendar?
Yes. Oh, I think so. I don't know. That, I don't know if you can, but there is a Google Calendar that's on the 100K page. That is a Google Calendar, I think. All right, so, yeah, it's a link. So I don't know if you can sync it up or not. But okay, so if we see that, I don't know if you can see everything. But today, we've got, this is not even we had a coffee chat this morning, all right, didn't we, Chevelle? All right, it was just Chevelle and I. Coffee chat this morning at 7:30. We started first thing at the West Chase office. We have this office meeting today. It was great. It was a good chat, wasn't it? It was. See? Get some one-on-one time with the broker. That's all right. See? Okay, those who show up, and that's what we're supposed to do. We have a lunch and learn in an hour and a half, basically, at 12:30 at the Newport Richie office. So I'll beat feet and get up there. All right, we roam around the offices. Today at 5 o'clock, we have our first version of the Next. If you guys know what the Next is an elite group. Those who did in the last 12 months did at least 4 million and or did 15 plus transactions in the year. All right, we meet at 5 o'clock, 5 to 6:30. Take a quick break. 7 o'clock, we're launching 100K. Okay, we usually launch 100K in February. We decided to do it right off the first week of January. If you haven't been to 100K, you need to come. It's a great method. We cover all sorts of stuff. We don't listen to your excuses. We have some accountability. We bust your chops. It's a good time to be there to figure out what's going on and a way to expand your business. I guarantee this, if you do what we tell you to do, all right, And I say this, it's easy to say because nobody ever does it. All right? Okay? No. All right? You'll make 100 grand a year. I can show you how to make 100 grand a year in this business. By the way, you make 100 grand a year in the business, you're in the top 5% of real estate agents in the country, and you're in the top 5% of wage earners in America. All right, you talk about the elusive, the 1%. The 1% is $328,000 a year. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad living, all right? But 300, this elusive 1% that, eat caviar all day and wipe themselves with dollar bills, all right? According to the 99%, all right? Trust me, all right? It's not that, you know what I mean? It's not that easy to live on 1%. You got to make a lot. It's expensive to live, right? Well, I'm just saying, don't get caught up in this. They're the wealthy, right? Well, whatever. Be one of them then. All right. The best thing you can be for the poor. The best thing you could do for the poor is not be one of them. All right. It's my firm opinion. All right. Because a broke man never helped another broke man. All right. And so you just, go out and make it happen. All right. I got a whole 6-slide PowerPoint to talk about what we're going to do this year. All right, but here's the thing I want you to do. Just take away this. I got it all memorized. You ready? Start and finish. This is the year we're going to do. That's why it's not Happy New Year. It's Happy Do Year. Agents are famous for starting stuff. All right? They start all the time, myself included. All right? Don't just start this year. Decide to finish. You guys see that post I put about my push-ups? Okay? Here's the thing. I decided to do 73,200 push-ups this year. All right? In honor of my 50th birthday, I said, let me get to a bill I can do 50 push-ups in a set. I said, let me do 4 sets a day. Somehow throughout the day, I could figure out how to do 4 sometimes, right? That's 200 a day. It was a leap year, 366 times 200. Boom, 73,200. Amazing. It adds up pretty quickly when you multiply times 366, right? Problem was, I had to constantly evaluate that. I had to make sure I was accountable each and every night. Chevelle and I were talking about accountability this morning at our one-on-one, all right, coffee chat, all right? And as we were talking, I said, hey, look, there were times where I've made many January 1st? I've had 50 of them now, all right, in my life. I've had 50 January 1st that I've lived through, and I've made many bold claims, all right? Problem is, come March or April, that's not so fun anymore. All right, that gets, I don't know, it seems like work. You know what I mean? And so I would let things lapse. I'd said, this time I'm going to make sure. I'm just telling you this because of the fact that this is what you can do on anything, right? Is that you decide and you evaluate consistently. Because that way when you evaluate soon enough, you can make a series of small tweaks that will get you back on track. That's what I would do. I told Chevelle, I'd hit the pillow at night, I'd say, I only got 2 sets in today. All right, so mentally I'd say, okay, that means for the next 2 days I got to do 5, because I'm supposed to do 4 each day, so I got to add 1 for the next 2 days. Or if I get out of bed, at least do 1 more set right now. At least I don't have to do 1 more day of 5, right? And so I would, sometimes. Other times I'd say, screw it, I'll do 2 days worth of 5, right? Or whatever, but I was keeping track consistently, all right? Always doing it. This is what we don't do often enough, guys, is we don't take a look. People are like, because I teach, trust the process. That's one of our phrases in 100K. Trust the process. Because if you do the process, it'll make it happen. Trust the process, all right? Well, it's good to trust the process, but we still need to evaluate the results. Trusting the process without evaluating the results, let me quote Yoda for you. There is no try, only do. Right? That's what we're measured by. And I'm not talking monetarily, I'm talking about everything. We're measured by what they did in life, not what we tried to do in life. I tried to run 4 marathons. Who gives a flying flip? How many did you finish? Right? Trying doesn't matter. This is all coming. Trust me, be married to Jeanette for a while. All right? There is no try, only do. What you do speaks so loudly, I can't hear what you say. These things are ingrained in me. I've heard them for 26 plus years now, right? Okay, that's what matters. All right, so stop fooling yourself and patting yourself on the back. I told the story in the 100. So June hits. Boys are out of school. We go on vacation. I get sick. I wasn't feeling well. I was under the weather. Guess how many push-ups I did in June? 0. 30 days is 0. I woke up July 1st and said, crap. I'm 120 sets behind. Let me throw in the towel and just say, you know what? I did it for 5 months. My neighbor didn't do that. All right? I'm better, look at him, compared to that guy, all right? At least I did 5 months worth of put, you know what I mean? That's what my mind wanted to go to, right? No, I said, you know what, dadgummit? July and August, 6 sets a day, all right? To catch up for the 30, I decided to take that mini vacation in June, right? So I did it. And I worked my way through and stayed disciplined to get to that point. We need to do that. I'm supposed to make 10 phone calls a week, right, to my past clients in my sphere, right? We wait until July 31st to check how our progress is going. We realize we made 10 phone calls all year. I go, oh, crap. Let's see. We're about 30 weeks into the year. I'm 290 phone calls behind. What the heck? I've done 10. That's better than my neighbor. Right? He's only done 5. Right? So we justify all these things in our mind. So stop doing it. Here's the other thing. You're going to hear this a lot in 100K. Our new mantra is, this is simple. I got this. Stop trying to overcomplicate this business, guys. It's not that hard. Okay? Matter of fact, let's go social media on it. It's period, not period, that period, hard period. It's not, right? Don't overcomplicate this thing. Let's make it simple, all right? And tell ourselves, I got this, all right? Did that Samuel. 2 boys, right? Joseph, biological, 14 years old, has his mom's genes in looks and intelligence, and school's never been an issue. Samuel came from Russia, and parents, we have no idea who they are. All right? 3 digits on top, 2 on the bottom. All right? Multiply those things together. I was a math teacher. We got this, right, Samuel? We got this down. No problem, buddy. All right, come back the next time. He's staring at me like I'm talking a foreign language. Like, what are you talking about? We had this 24 hours ago, right? So here we go. Let's dig in this. You know what I started doing with them? All right, Samuel, you're a smart boy, because he is. He's a guy, all right? He's going to be a great CIA operative sometime, all right? I'm telling you. You go out, all of a sudden, all right, I'll go out to go get milk at night, and I'll come back. He'll get out, and we'll go out to get loaded in the car in the morning. Where'd you go last night, Dad? So what are you talking about? Because we have a basement, right? And so he's on the 3rd floor. There's no way he could hear me, right, going out. He goes, I can see your tires aren't in the same spot they were when you left. He's that kind of intelligent, right? So he's more of a street smart kind of guy, right? So you don't want to fool Sam. You don't try and pull one over on him either, you know what I mean? And so he's that street smart kind of guy. So he just has that down. But I'll tell him, I said, Samuel, you're smart, okay? This is easy. You got this. So we did that for the last 3 days. This is easy. You got this. Pretty soon, this is easy. I got this. This is easy. I got this. He's quoting that mantra. Next thing you know, now he's got, I said, now here's the beauty of math. Now that you can do one of these, no problem, you can do all of them. Doesn't matter what numbers I throw up there, because it's the same process, right? That's what we're going to get to. This is easy. I got this. This is simple. I got this. That's going to be our mantra. We're going to figure out how to make this done and get this done, and we are actually going to finish. Are you with me? All right? So tonight, 7 o'clock, right? Hampton Inn and Oldsmar. Tomorrow, 9:30, Hampton Inn and Clearwater, both the same sessions. You want to come join us? I dare you. All right? There is no cost. Though you guys are bold people, all right? Don't bring your checkbook. Don't need $850, all right? Come. It's free. The only thing you owe me is wait till you see what you owe me, all right? It's because you can make some commitments. There's where you owe. That's where you pay, all right? Everybody got it? Tom, you got anything for us that happened at the board?
A couple things. On January the 10th at GTAR is the Tech User Group.
Awesome. Great class, by the way. It's amazing they do this.
They're going to go over primarily the new GTAR website on the agent side.
Oh, cool.
Not the public side.
Right.
So that you can learn how to do all the things that you need to do, look up stuff, pay dues, get information. And
What's the time on that?
It's 5:30 to 7:30.
Free pizza.
Okay, yeah, free pizza and soft drinks.
See? Look at that.
January the 10th, which is next Tuesday. On January the 13th is our first general membership meeting. It's being held at the Stetson Law School.
Huh.
If you have never been to the Stetson Law School, you need to go to this meeting. The room that we use is where they do their classes. It's elevated in different steps.
Oh, cool.
It's like being inside of a big courtroom.
Nice.
Okay? And Freck is going to be there to answer questions, tell you things about how to stay out of trouble.
Right, and because you're in this courtroom kind of feel, so it really drives the point home.
And the gains that we are looking for in real estate in 2017, and then Dennis McDonald, the new CEO of GTAR, will be giving you a State of the Union of the Greater Tampa Realty.
Nice.
That's January 13th, and that's at 9:30 to 11:30 on January 13th, which is a Friday.
Awesome. Great. We got several people in membership, or in leadership, I should say, with all the boards. We got pro directors, we've got GTAR directors, all sorts of people. So things are going well. We're continuing to grow. One of the things, by the way, you're going to learn is that we're going to cover these things in coffee chats and lunch and learns. What we're kind of covering now is business building, all right, planning some stuff out, having a plan, mapping it out, how to finish. That kind of stuff is good, but you got to have a plan to start. So we're talking through where do you want to be and how do you look at the numbers and what do you do because you got to know your numbers. If you don't know your numbers, all right, you lose. All right, you've got to know your numbers. You got to, because your goals. I want to be a better agent. Nothing wrong with your okay. Okay, how do you measure that? All right, I want to be a better husband. That's a great goal. All right. If you ask me, I did a great job. You ask my wife, not so great a job, all right? But is there a number we can put with that, all right? I want to make more money this year. Well, guess what, okay? My accountant can tell me because it's a quantitative goal, right? So anything you set has to have a number, all right? So that's where we talk through some of this stuff. Lunch and learn, 12:30, we got to get on the road so we can get up to Newport Richie if you're going to meet us there. 5 o'clock next. 7 o'clock, 100K, all sorts of good things happening. Jim, you got anything to add? All right. He's good to go. He's got his... Good to go, I got this. All right. This is simple. I got this. All right. Remember, as I told these our new agent here, all right, if you ever have a problem, email me because that's the easiest thing for me to forward to Jim. All right? Because I can just hit one button and it's gone. All right? Great, guys. Happy New Year. All right. Talk to you later. Go get them.